things I don't do as a Christian woman. The first one is I don't hide money. I don't hide my purchases from my husband. I don't hide credit card purchases. I don't hide my shopping, nothing. I'm fully transparent. I know people who will spend literally hundreds of thousands, or who have spent literally hundreds of thousands of dollars on their credit card and hidden it from their husband. Absolutely not okay. Absolutely not okay. If you are a Christian wife and you are hiding those kinds of things from your husband, there is a major problem and you need to start getting some things fixed. I don't hide anything. I let him know if it's going to be a bigger purchase. I tell him so that I can make sure that we have the money, the cash on hand. We use credit cards, but we make sure we have the money in the bank before we use them. It's just a convenience thing for us because I have self-control. I have no problem using credit cards, but we pay them off every single month. With the exception of one time when we had $60,000 in medical bills come all at once, we did put that on our credit cards for 2 months. We had 6 months free interest on it. So we used that time to get it paid off. That's the only time we've not paid off our credit cards. We pay off our credit cards every single month. And I don't hide my purchases. This video is brought to you by our Dining on a Dime cookbook. We have quick and easy recipes your family will love to help you get in and out of the kitchen fast. Please visit us at livingonadime.com. The next thing I don't do as a 50-year-old Christian woman, I do not just walk into my kids' houses. I do not just show up at their doors. Now, occasionally, if I'm out driving around and I pick up something or something like that, yeah, I might occasionally stop by unannounced. But it's not a normal occurrence. If I do stop by, I don't just walk in their house. I knock on their door. I give them time to answer the door. If they don't answer the door, I leave. There's a reason why they're not answering the door. And it's okay, parents, if they don't answer the door for you. It's okay if they don't want you to come over right now. It's okay if it's not a good time for you to come over. I actually did another video on this, so you can go watch that video here, talking about parents just walking into their kids' houses. The other thing is, I don't pay my adult children's bills. None of it. I don't pay their cell phone. I don't pay their car insurance. I don't pay their college. I don't pay for their house. I don't pay for their daycare. I don't pay for anything. They are adults. The economy is not that bad, despite what everyone is saying. They can pay for their own bills. They can make the same choices that I did when I was in my 20s on whether or not I'm going to go to Starbucks or not, whether or not I'm going to go out to eat or not, whether or not I'm going to get my nails done or not, or pay my cell phone bill. Is it getting your nails done, or is it paying your cell phone? Is it eating out, or is it paying your mortgage? They can make those own decisions for themselves. You raise them. It is not your responsibility in any way, shape, or form to pay for any of your kids' bills. Now, let's say your daughter's husband becomes severely disabled and something happens, or her husband dies, or her husband leaves her, or something like that. Yes, you can help out for a short period of time, 6 months or a year. You can help out in an extenuating circumstances, but this is a big problem with people in their 50s, with women in their 50s and older, is they have to be paying for the bills because the kids just can't afford it. The kids have to live with them because they can't afford it. No, it's not okay. And then you complain that you don't have enough money, you don't have enough retirement, you don't have the freedom, whatever. Well, it's up to you to say no to these things. The next thing I do as a 50-year-old woman is I say no. I say no to people who don't want to help themselves. I say no to people who are just being victims. Listen, I, believe it or not, you guys might not think so, but from the way I talk, but I really like helping people because I'm one of those people, I can see a situation, I see the solution, in my eyes, it's an easy solution. Let's just do it and be done with it. And you've got it fixed. Most people don't think that way. So if I'm helping someone like declutter their house, let's say I've helped several people in my lifetime, in my adult lifetime, declutter their hoarding house. And I will go in and I will help. But if they are not willing to be throwing things away, if they are not willing to be giving things to the thrift store, if they are not willing to be just getting rid of stuff, and they have to keep everything or lots of stuff, there's a problem, and I will not continue. If you don't want to help yourself, I'm not going to help you. Nowhere in the Bible does it say God helps those who help themselves, but it does say if a man doesn't work, he shall not eat. It's the same principle. You have to put in effort if you're going to want help from me. The other thing is when people are just victims, you go in there and you try to help, and literally every suggestion that is a good suggestion, they don't want to take it. There's an excuse. Well, it's not going to work for this, or it's not going to work for, nope, I can't do that. I can't do this. If they're a victim and they make excuses as to why things are not going to work in improving their lives, I'm not going to help you improve your life. I'm not going to help you clear out your kitchen. If you're refusing to get rid of any of the clutter on the countertop and then you have nowhere to cook, so you have to eat out, I'm not going to help you. If you're refusing to live in a house that you can actually afford, I'm not going to be paying your mortgage. I'm not going to help you out with your mortgage. I'm not going to help you out with your medical bills when you're in a house that is way too expensive that you can't afford. I'm just not going to do it. So if you're going to be a victim, I'm not going to help you. The other thing that I don't do as a 50-year-old Christian woman, I forgive, but I don't forget. God says that He will forgive our sins and forget them if we repent. But that doesn't mean that I have to do that. What do I mean by that? If my husband, and he's not, if my husband was abusing me and I left and he asked for forgiveness, I would definitely forgive him. But I would not forget the abuse, because I still need to protect myself and my children. I maybe, if he's truly repentant, I maybe don't hold it over his head all the time. I would not hold, that would not be forgiving, is holding it over their head all the time. You haven't truly forgiven if you're holding something that you supposedly have forgiven over their head all the time. Now, if that person is still continuing that behavior, you can still address it. That's fine. But just because you forgive doesn't mean you forget. I told the story about my aunt when, in my video, you can go watch it here, when an estranged parent dies. And that is a perfect situation. I have forgiven my aunt for the way she treated me, but I will not forget and never have a relationship with her again because of the way she treated me. I'm just not going to do it. And so in that situation, I have to protect myself from her mistreating me. So I'm not going to forget what she did to me. This one's going to be really controversial, but if my husband dies, as a Christian woman, I will not marry a man who's been divorced unless his wife has committed adultery. If he's divorced from his wife and they just couldn't get along, I'm not going to date him. I'm not going to marry him. So the Bible is very specific that the only two situations where you can get remarried is if your spouse has died or they have committed adultery. You've divorced them after they've committed adultery. So as a Christian woman, if I meet a guy and him and his wife just didn't get along, I'm not going to date him. I'm not going to marry him if his wife didn't commit adultery. Now, if his wife is already remarried, then she's committing adultery. So then it's okay to go ahead and do that. But I know a lot of people are not going to be happy about me with that. And That's okay. I'm just telling you what the Bible says. And if I were in that situation, I would not remarry unless his wife had committed adultery or died. The other thing is, I would not live with a guy before I got married to him. It does nothing but cause problems, financial problems, emotional problems, not to mention it's just biblically wrong to be living with a guy. There are a lot of people who will say, well, I'm going to lose my Social Security if I get remarried, or I'm going to lose this pension, or I'm going to lose that benefit, or whatever if I get remarried, so I need to keep those so I can afford to live. Well, then you need to just get married and lose it. Sorry, that's hard to hear, but as a Christian woman, you are not free to just go live with a guy and sleep in the same bed with him and think that God is okay with that. He's not. God is very specific that that is not okay to do in any way, shape, or form. The next thing I don't do as a Christian woman is wear revealing clothes. Now, I know I'm 50 years old. I'm not the hot, sexy little thing walking on the beach. I get that. But there are a lot of 50-year-old women who need to be covering some stuff up, even Christians. And I never allowed my daughter to wear those things either. A lot of you still have teenagers at home. Why are you allowing your daughters to wear revealing clothes with their boobs halfway hanging out, with their butt cheeks hanging out? It's not okay. While I don't think we are responsible for the thoughts that men have, you know, some Christian, sex denominations, I don't know how you want to say that, but some Christians believe that women are completely responsible for every thought every man has, and if you wear something revealing, then it's your fault. Okay, I don't believe that. Yes, you shouldn't be making it harder for men at all and announcing that you're available and all of this. No, you shouldn't be doing that. But at the same time, guys are responsible for turning their eyes. They're responsible for their thoughts and repenting of their thoughts, just like we are. But as a Christian woman, I'm not going to have everything hanging out. I'm not going to shop at places like Target. I was shocked, absolutely shocked. It was 8 or 10 years ago when Target was allowing mentally ill men to go in and use the women's bathroom with women and girls in there. Not okay. And yet almost every Christian woman I knew at the time had no problem shopping at Target. I got news for you. I have not shopped at Target since. I have not. If you're going to allow a mentally ill man in the same bathroom with little kids and women, it is not okay at all. I will not do it. I don't care how cute the clothes are at Target. I will not do it. And as Christian women, we need to be standing up and being strong and saying, no, we're not putting up with this garbage. If your company is going to be promoting that stuff, I am not spending my dollars with your company, period. Now, I totally understand. Now, 10 years later, it's almost impossible to find a company that isn't promoting those things. I totally understand that. But let me tell you, I haven't used CoverGirl makeup in 15 or 20 years since they had Ellen DeGeneres on there. She does not represent what a good woman should be. Women are not men. They shouldn't act like men. They shouldn't look like men. God set up reasons why women should act like women. Why? Because men are supposed to protect women. They're not supposed to treat them bad. If your husband is yelling at you, screaming at you, hitting you, that is not okay. Women are supposed to be protected. When women go and act like men, they're not going to be protected. They're not going to be respected. And so companies like CoverGirl and Target, I haven't shopped at in years. Now, I totally understand, like I just said, it's almost impossible now to not deal with any companies at all that are promoting those things. I understand that. I totally understand that. But if at all possible, I do not have anything to do with it, and I have not shopped at Target in more than, well, I know it's been at least 8 years. It may have been 10 by now. In 8 or 10 years, I have not shopped at Target. When Chip and Joanna Gaines still continued to have their stuff in Target after all of that was happening, I was like, okay, I'm giving them a little bit of grace because, you know, I understand from a business standpoint, maybe they've signed contracts or something like that and they can't get out of it or whatever. I was giving them a little bit of grace. Now it's all come out that they are pro all of this mental illness that is rampant in our society today, as far as, and that's what it is. You can call it whatever you want, but it is. And it's sad because I don't know one person that doesn't have these issues that wasn't abused as a child. So I feel very bad for these people. I understand that they're doing it because it's a response to the way they were treated when they were growing up. It doesn't mean that I'm going to confirm your sin. It doesn't mean that I'm going to be okay with you doing these things when it's wrong. Now, we see Chip and Joanna Gaines, they're, you know, all for that. Well, that's why I was having a question back then, because I was like, people, if you're Christians, why are all your products in Target? This is not okay. If I know a company is blatantly supporting those things, then I try to not shop there. Now, I get it. Walmart, Home Depot, all that, that's all that's in my town. I kind of have to buy stuff from somewhere. So I kind of think of it as in the days of Noah. Yes, you may have to do business with some people who are doing that, but it doesn't mean that you have to promote it either. And so I don't. And I feel like if I give my dollars there, then I am promoting it. And as Christians, we need to start taking a stand. This is why our society, well, I mean, it is the end, but this is why our society is this way, because Christians, you know, stop standing up for what is right. All right. Can't wait to hear your comments on this one. Oh, it's a biggie. Please go visit us at livingonadime.com. We will see you guys next time.